Happy Sunday, everyone. It's my third video and I'm really excited about this one. I've just finished church. I'm just sitting in the parking lot just before I drive out and go home. The message that I got from church today was, let your light shine. It's one of my favorite Bible passages, let your light shine. And of course, usually when you get that type of message, the pastor will back it up with a lot of scriptures to say exactly why you should let your light shine. And so it was really good receiving that as my first message for 2019, first church service. But as usual, it's one of the passion of mine. I believe that every single person showed up here for some purpose, to do something, to be something, to change something. Quite often we don't know what it is, and so we spend quite a lot of time finding our purpose or standing up and being who we are or making our light shine. But one of the things I always like with that verse is that I say to people that when you say to someone, make your light shine, you kind of need to add a little bit of disclaimer so that people understand what it means to make your light shine, or at least put it in context to where we are today, 2019. So let me share a little story with you. There was a little girl called Susie, and Susie grew up in a rural area in some faraway country. Now, up until the age of 10, all Susie did was play, make friends, do everything that every child would do. She had no context, no idea what she wanted to do, who she wanted to be, what career she wanted to follow when she grew up. And on her 10th birthday, she was coming back from the shops and she had some bags in her hand and something fell on the ground. And what Susie did, she bent down to pick up this item that had fallen on the ground. And as she's getting up, she looks up and realized that there's a big mountain just a few miles away from where she lives. And she said to herself, I've never seen that mountain before, or I've never looked at that mountain before. Someday I think I want to climb that mountain. And she was thinking about climbing this mountain as she went back home. And she saw her mom and she said, Mom, someday I want to climb that mountain that I just saw today. And Mom said, don't be silly. That mountain is so big and dangerous. So many people have tried to climb it before. You're a little girl. Pay attention to little girl stuff and just leave that mountain alone. But Susie kept thinking about the mountain. And then she said to herself, I'm going to talk to Dad. Dad will understand what it means to climb that mountain. And so she went to her dad and she said, Dad, I want to climb that mountain someday. Dad didn't say anything. He simply rolled up his sleeves and he showed Susie a great big scar on his hand. And he said, Susie, I tried to climb that mountain when I was a young, strong man, and that mountain broke me. He showed her some scars on his feet and then at the back and said, that mountain broke me. I have so many scars. So many things happened when I tried to climb that mountain. If I were you, I would stay away from that mountain. So Susie took it as it is and left the mountain alone. She didn't think about it. She went off, got married, started a career and lived her life. About 10-15 years, she came back to the village, met with her mother, and as she stood there, she looked again at that mountain, stared at the mountain, and something was drawing her to the mountain. She felt like, I have to climb this mountain. I must get up this mountain. So she said to herself there, right then and there, next week Friday morning, I am going to climb that mountain. She went into the house and she said to her mother and father, Mom, Dad, next Friday, I am climbing that mountain. The father opened his mouth to say something, but something in her eyes told her, leave it alone. And so Dad just left it alone and said nothing. Susie told all her friends, next Friday, I'm going to climb the mountain. Friday morning, Susie turned up at the mountain. Friends gathered around to help her along the journey to climb the mountain. Two of Susie's friends turned up in some flip-flop, some slippers. Now, as soon as somebody turned up in slippers, you're questioning something there because they can't climb a mountain wearing flip-flops. But anyway, Susie said nothing and they were off up the mountain. At about mile 2, the two friends in flip-flops, obviously their feet are sore and they want to stop climbing the mountain. And they say to Susie, Susie, we have to stop climbing the mountain. Can we go back down the mountain and start another day? Now at this point, Susie needs to make one good decision here. Does she go back down the mountain with her friends, or does she keep climbing? Now I'm going to divert a bit because I've been a teacher for about 20 years and I'm not telling you my age. And I can remember a few years ago I had this very disorganized class. There were very rude children all over the place and it was quite difficult to actually manage your behavior. Went in one morning with a chocolate and a letter C. And I gave every single child in that classroom a chocolate and the letter C. After they had eaten the chocolate and enjoyed the chocolate, one bright spark at the back said to me, Miss, what is this C for? And I said, okay, give me a minute to explain why I gave you a chocolate and one C. I said, the C I gave you, it's yours. That C stands for choice. Anything you want to do in life, regardless of what anyone tell you, the choice is yours. If you want to stand in the middle of the motorway, nobody can stop you. The choice is yours. If you want to scream and shout and be disrespectful, nobody can stop you. It's your choice. Whatever you want to do is your choice in life. And at that point, I took out a bigger C and I stuck it on the board. And another child said, Miss, why is your C so big? And I said, it's not my C, but you need to know that there's a big C with your little c. Now that big C stands for consequence. You can choose to do anything in life. Always remember, however, that there's a big C called consequence. So choose wisely and remember that every action, every decision you have bears a consequence. So they got the idea after a while, because every time they misbehave, I would put the big C on the board to remind them that if they don't listen in class, if they misbehave, whatever they choose to do, at some point in life, that consequence is going to come back to them. And so we got through the year. So back to Susie on the story. So Susie's on the mountain and two of her friends are wearing flip-flops to climb a mountain. So their choice obviously will have a consequence, and the consequence is that they can't go up the mountain. So at that point, Susie needs to make a decision. Go back down the mountain with her friends or keep climbing her mountain. Susie decided, send for help, and she would keep climbing her mountain. So on Susie goes. 2 miles up the mountain, Susie come to a path, left or right. Now she needs to make a second urgent decision. Turn left or turn right. Left is the north face of the mountain that her dad had climbed so many years before. And right, of course, is the south part, which is longer and trickier, but nobody has climbed that path before. Some of her friends want to go right and some want to go left. In the end, Susie went right with a few of her friends, and the other friends went left, and on she continued. It was almost dusk when Susie made it to the top of the mountain. Can you imagine the relief? She had finally conquered her mountain. She was finally standing on top of the mountain. She was grinning and shouting and laughing because she had made it to the top of her mountain finally. After a while, it started getting a little bit cold, so Susie lit a big fire, a big bonfire, and started to celebrate. A few seconds after that, her phone rang. Susie answered the phone. It was the park ranger. He said, Susie, everybody on the ground is so excited. We have seen your bonfire from afar off. We know it's you, and we're so glad that you're on top of that mountain. You've conquered the mountain finally. And Susie was screaming and laughing and enjoying the moment. The park ranger said, however, I must tell you something while you're on that mountain. You have lit that great big fire, and everybody for miles can see it and know that you have conquered the mountain. However, that fire is now a beacon to every wild animal for miles. So it means that everybody and every animal is coming towards you, Susie, because you're standing at the mountain and you're advertising that you're there. You need to make one third and final decision. you need to either put that fire out and risk dying of cold, or keep that fire lit and know that every wild animal is heading in your direction. What decision would you make? Now, that is just a simple story, but that story is representative of every single person on earth who has ever had a dream. You may be at different stage of the story, but it's a timeline to every success story. So let's go back very quickly over the story. So at the start, Susie was just playing around. She didn't even realize that there was a mountain around. And so quite often we don't know our purpose because we're not looking for it. So things sometimes are right in front of us, but we never see it because we have not focused our mind to say, I need to achieve this dream or I need to achieve something. We just go along with life. We're lost, but we don't even realize that we're lost. So that is Susie at the early stage. And then for some people, something will happen. Something so innocent and random, and you realize actually there is a mountain there and I should climb that mountain. I have the need to climb that mountain. It may be a dream to open a shop. It may be a dream to study. You might want to be something extraordinary. But once that fire is lit, once you realize that there's something that you want to do and something you must do, it's very hard to get it out of your mind. Now, as Suze made that decision, the first thing she did was to rush to tell her mother. So quite often when we have our dreams and we realize that this is our purpose, this is what we want to accomplish, we all head to somebody that we trust, that we can share our dreams with. And this is where sometimes we get a little bit disappointed because we'll share our dream in exuberance, with excitement, enthusiasm, because this is what we want. And sometimes we don't get that enthusiasm from people who we trust and who we think will be there to surround us and support us. But this is what you need to remember. With dreams, whether it's a daydream or you dream at night, out of the 7.2 billion people on earth, not one can see your dream as how you see your dream. You can describe it, you can paint pictures, you can sing songs, whatever you do, no one but you will be able to see exactly what you're trying to achieve, exactly what is your dream. So be prepared that people might not share your enthusiasm, and it should not deter you from pushing ahead to achieve your dream. Now, of course, once Susie's mother did not show that excitement, she went to her dad, because her dad had actually tried to climb the mountain. And you will find people have actually tried to do the exact same thing you're doing. Does not, however, mean that their journey is going to be your journey. Their mistakes is not going to be your mistakes. Their failures may not necessarily be your failures. So listen to what they have to say, but don't let them change your mind from actually marching ahead and doing something. Climb your mountain. Now, next thing that Susie did, she went off and forgot all about her mountain for a while. And isn't that every single one of us? At some point in life, we all forget those dreams. We're excited as children. We want to write a book. We want to start our own business. We want to be the head of a company. And then life hits us. We settle and we stop climbing our mountain. We stop chasing those dreams. And we just be. We're just lost, and we have accepted that we have lost, and we're doing nothing about it. But then for most people, especially right now, if you're listening, guaranteed you might be thinking about that dream that you had not thought about for years now. That book you wanted to write, that company you wanted to start, that thing you wanted to do from you were in the 9th grade that you have completely forgotten about, and it's suddenly coming back to you, and you're thinking, maybe it's time I should. Maybe it's 2019 that I should make that move and actually start toward my dream. Now, once Susie came back and decided that she wanted to climb her mountain, there was a definite in her purpose now, because what she said is, next Friday, I am going to climb my mountain. She never said someday. She was now more specific with her goals. And once you're specific with your goals, it makes it a little bit more urgent because you really want to achieve your goal. You really want to make it to the top of your mountain. Now, I have said to myself, I am doing 5 Facebook Lives by the end of January. This is my 3rd one, but because I've given myself a deadline, then it's a little bit more urgent, and now I really want to achieve my goal, and I'm really gunning for it. Now, once she turned up on that Friday morning to climb her mountain, 2 of Susie's friends turns up in flip-flops. Now, who turns up to climb a mountain wearing flip-flop? Absolutely nobody. Now, at this point, how is that an analogy to your dream and climbing your mountain? You have some friends in life, they will turn up to support you, or seemingly turn up to support you. They will say the right words, but sometimes step away from the words, look at the actions. If somebody turn up to help you climb your mountain wearing flip-flops, then they're telling you indirectly, we don't believe you're going to climb this mountain. We're not sure that you're going to be successful. We're just here to see what happens. So when you have your dreams, you need to look out for flip-flop friends. Look out for the people and their actions, whether or not they're supporting you or whether or not they're just there to see what is going to happen. These people have made their choice. They don't want to ride with you. They don't want to climb your mountain with you. That's fine. But never allow their choice to impact on your dream. Let them bear their own consequence. If they can't climb the mountain with you, allow them to go back in peace and you continue on your mountain. Halfway up the mountain, Susie had to make a decision. Go left or go right. Now, even though people have done things before you and you may not want to do the same thing or fail the same way, there's always power in knowledge. So if somebody has sat down and said, I did it this way and it failed, then don't be silly to say, okay, I'm going to do the same thing that they have done and I will not fail this time. Take advice. Listen to what people have to say. The good thing about advice, you don't have to do it, but at least it tells you exactly what to expect, and so you can prepare as you're going towards your dream. And then finally, when you make it to the top of the mountain, when you achieve your dream, don't think it's over. Remember, there are some people there who might not want to see you succeed. You see it every day in the media. You see people make it, and some stories surface from 5-10 years ago when people said, oh, he did this, or she said that, or I remember when she was doing that. People sometimes cannot be happy for you and celebrate your victory. So you need to make sure that when that fire is lit, it is so bright that people may see from afar and be fearful of actually coming near to it. Or you can turn your fire off to please other people and die of bitterness or regret. But I would advise you to make sure that fire is burning bright. So this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon, wherever you are on your journey, whether you're still looking for your mountain, whether you've found your mountain, whether you're at the base and ready to start, or you're midway through your journey, whatever part of the journey you are at, just keep moving. Decide where you are. I've explained some of the things that might come your way as you're climbing your mountain. So now you're prepared, because knowledge is power. So for this Sunday afternoon, all I have to say to you is keep climbing. Keep pushing forward. Learn as you grow and learn as you go to the top of the mountain. So Facebook, I'll see you at the top of your mountain. Have a blessed day. Please like, share, and comment. Speak soon. Bye.